In 1958, my mother took my best friend and me to lunch at the Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant, where we all ordered the famous Cobb salad. This salad has remained a family favorite. To make a Cobb salad, you'll need a bowl of mixed greens. You should have at least 2 different kinds of lettuce in your salad. Chopped tomatoes, avocado, roasted or grilled chicken, chopped hard-boiled egg, blue cheese crumbled, and bacon bits. And we'll top it with a vinaigrette dressing. So you're going to start with a nice, generous bowl of greens. Make sure that they're broken up into manageable pieces. Some people make a Cobb salad by chopping the lettuce, but I was taught, and I still believe, that to cut lettuce, you're going to turn it brown, and you're best to tear it and not cut it. So a nice, generous bed for this salad. And consider how many people you're making it for. If you're making it to be shared with 2, be a little extra generous. If you're making it for just 1 person, well, you might not want to put in quite so much. The next decision you have to make is how you want to line up your ingredients. I always like to start with my chicken, and I like to put it right down the middle. This salad is going to be for 2 people, so it's showing generous amounts. Next, I'll add a row of tomatoes. These are beautiful summer tomatoes. I'll next add my avocados, this final corner over here. The origin of the Cobb salad, it's said that a manager of the Brown Derby in Los Angeles hadn't eaten all day, and he went back to the kitchen, and he was scrounging around looking for something to eat. And he went into the refrigerator and found a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and he threw it all together in a bowl. And it became, his name was Bob Cobb, Robert Cobb, and this is in 1937, and it's been a famous salad at the Brown Derby ever since. The Brown Derby was built in 1926, and it was torn down in 1994 after it had been abandoned for quite a few years. But in its day, it was synonymous with the golden age of Hollywood. It's where all the movie stars like to go and like to hang out. And it was also known for having caricatures and photos and paintings of the stars on the walls. And everybody knew about the Brown Derby in Los Angeles. I'm going to show you how to make a classic French vinaigrette. In our house, we call this Chef Eric's dressing. About a half a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. We were in a cooking class in France, and Chef Eric taught us how to make this dressing, and it's become a family classic, to which you're going to add a tablespoon of lemon or lime juice. Mix it up. Now you're going to add about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of cracked pepper, and using the back of your spoon, you're going to just keep mashing this around, getting it good and mixed into the mustard. Your next item to add will be herbs of Provence. Again, stirring with the back of your spoon. This is a wonderful vinaigrette to know about because it is so easy. The proportions are really not that important. This is 1 grated garlic clove and a piece of a small shallot chopped. Again, back of your spoon, and just keep kind of moving it around in the bowl. Your next ingredient is 1 tablespoon, just use the same old spoon that you've been stirring with, a balsamic vinegar or red wine vinegar or any kind of vinegar that you want, depending on your taste. Keep moving it around. This is the time, I haven't added the oil yet, but this is the time that I like to taste it to make sure that I've got my proportions where I want them. So the same spoon, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, again with the spoon, and this is the time, depending on your own taste, if you like it a little sweeter, you can stir in a little honey, you could squeeze in the juice of an orange. If you wanted a little bit more of a citrus dressing, you can play with the different flavors. It should stay on the savory side, but it's nice if it has just a touch of sweetness to it. I added another tablespoon of oil, and again, keep whisking it into the bowl. And now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of water and then continue to whisk it. I'm adding about a teaspoon of honey. After tasting it, I decided it was just a little bit too tart for my taste. So I'm going to add the honey, and it's going to take me a few minutes to whisk this around. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you the rest of the story of the Brown Derby. When Disney opened Disney World in Florida, they revived the Brown Derby, and apparently there's a restaurant, I've not been there, in Disney World called the Brown Derby, where they've recreated the original Hollywood Brown Derby, and you can go there and you can order a Cobb salad. It's always on the menu, and they're famous for it. It's said to be one of the nicest restaurants in Disney World. It's also said to be one of the priciest, but the food is well worth it. So our vinaigrette is finished. I'm going to transfer it into a container, which I'll then cover and refrigerate it, and I'll add it to the salad when we have our salad for dinner tonight. I'll never forget my experience at the Brown Derby. Walking through that huge hat into a room full of lively people who were enjoying lunch, we sat in a booth surrounded by caricatures of movie stars who meant nothing to me, but somehow I knew this was a very special place. And I have had a love affair with the Cobb salad ever since.